So pleased to be here talking on changing habits. I'm going to bring you back not to 2002 but to 2010, to a time when I was editor-in-chief of a regional media house in the north of Sweden. And changing habits and change. I mean, there can hardly be any industry more in need of change than newspaper business. So I took this job, and I was realizing I'd had this challenge, which I share with all of us share with any media company in the entire world. How do we restructure the news business? How do we make journalism sustainable in the future? And that's a pretty big challenge. And the first thing I said to my staff, it was, we're going to solve this challenge here in Skellefteå, in the north of Sweden, very close to the polar circle. Now they were like, she's mad. Or charming, but mad. So, but the whole trip coming through this change, I'm going to walk you through it. And it always starts with the users. It starts with you and me, how we consume media, how we work, how we live. What are our urges? What are our dreams? So studying the digital native generation, which I think all of you here is part of, work very differently than the old ones, the ones that we created the newspapers for once upon a time. They want real-time interaction. You all want to be online 24/7. You don't want to have a subscription to something that's a year ahead and you don't know what you're buying. You want to be able to change every day, every minute. And this is a kind of challenge to a media industry who has the prime offer is a bundled offer, the same for every person, nothing individualized. And it's not interactive. A paper newspaper is not interactive. And it's slow. It comes the next day. So you realize here the challenge for this industry. The move also is complicated by the fact that internet has broken geographical boundaries. So you're no longer mastering your own area where you could carry out paper before, because internet has erased geography. And I love to take this metaphor of the Sami people, which is Europe's only indigenous population. And we're very proud to have had them in that area where I used to work. And the Samis, they herd reindeers. It's a nomad people, they move around. But they don't move around because they like traveling. They move around because the reindeers need to eat. And they don't know any geographical boundaries because sometimes the food is up and then the reindeers, they have to move. And they move across national boundaries, the regional boundaries. And I love this metaphor, bringing it back to the media context, because this is exactly how you are like the reindeers. You will move to the content that you enjoy, that gives you an amazing experience, wherever that content is found. You will no longer go to your local news outlet just because it's there, because you can access any information anywhere. So this is the house, my newspaper where I used to be editor-in-chief, and this is where I said to them, let's change, let's solve this challenge here. And what we realized was that with this exploding information landscape, where there's so much choices and so little time, what could make them actually, given that there is the robots, the aggregators, it goes very fast, all these other stakeholders out there in the media industry, makes it very difficult for a small local media outlet to actually become first choice, prime choice of people. So I was thinking a lot about this because I was really serious. I wanted to change. I wanted to solve this challenge. And I was thinking, what's going to happen if they start asking themselves, if you ask yourself, do I need my local media outlet? Can they give me something that I can get better, faster, somewhere else? And I realized, horrible truth. You will say, no, I don't need it. So I could see death. I was staring at death. But then I started thinking, is there a way where we can make that question not even arise in people's minds? Like, is there things, relationships in your life where you never weigh it against other options that way? So I broke it down to relationships, and I started thinking, is there relationships in my life that I don't question that way? And first I was thinking, okay, it's partners. But then I'm in the age of life where friends always divorce and they question their partners very, very harshly. So I scrapped that. But then I came up with this. Close friends, close family. That's the type of relationship. It doesn't matter. You never question them you never weigh them against something else. You don't go, oh, I don't want to see my brother because there might be better brothers out there. More generous, more fun. You don't do that. You're there for them. And when you start looking at what does that relationship actually consist of, it consists of the words that I put up there, the comfort, the support, and the love. And then bringing that back to the media context, have journalists, have media outlets, have they supplied that? It's not really the words that you think of when you think about journalists, is it? They are more like aggressive reporters, putting people against the wall, saying, why have you done this? Or why are you corrupt? Or, this is the type of critical attitude. It's part of our profession, but it's also built a very strange relationship to our customers, our readers, our users. So that insight made us change our vision and our identity in a sense. We thought that we were information brokers. We thought that we were information monopolists that could just give you, and you had to accept what we handed out to you. We changed our vision to something of, you see it up there, it's about strengthening the region. It's about, instead of saying, I'm giving you more text, more pictures when you are in an information overload and you don't want this, instead being your partner in prosperity, being the guarantee of this local community's success. Now that's a very different unique selling point or value proposition if you want. Saying we can guarantee, we want to be part of guaranteeing that you can stay here, that your local community will prosper, be successful, that there will be jobs for you, for your kids. Then suddenly it's a different challenge. It's another price tag if you deliver a lot of text on paper or if you deliver prosperity. You can't just talk. This is the age not of storytelling but of story doing. So we put a plan into action the year when we turned 100. So welcome to Skellefteå. This is the town square. Now it's not a joke. It is square of opportunities in Swedish. Möjligheternas torg. Now, yeah, you laugh. It is not. It's a lot of opportunities out there. You can say there's nothing there, so there's a lot of opportunities of doing something. Yeah. So this was uniquely the biggest debate actually in this town. It had gone on for years about this town square being so boring and ugly and unaesthetic, and nothing ever happened there. And it was the politicians' fault, or it was the local commerce fault, or it was somebody's fault anyway. And there was a lot of criticism. And I realized we were becoming co-branded. This media outlet was becoming co-branded with this discussion in a very negative way. We didn't want to be negative. We wanted to be positive force. So instead of being part of that, we decided to take action, and we gave the town a Christmas market. We filled it with something. There was live reindeers and bonfires and Christmas music, and the people just loved it for us. They were like, Anette, will there be a Christmas market next year? They asked me already in August. They loved it because suddenly there was something there. We were a news media outlet, but we became some kind of event organizer. That's a change. That's moving things somewhere, just to show people you can do it. You can take action. You can change your town. On the 13th of December, we celebrate the Saint Lucia in Sweden. Usually the girls are dressed in white, but the year when we turned 100, we made it into a manifestation for equal value, for equal opportunity, for the multiculturalism that we believe society is making a society prosperous. So there's 1,000 people sitting in the church, it's dark, and the white girls walk in, and this year they were all colored. And I held a speech, and the priest held a preaching on equal opportunities, on value of human beings being the same no matter what. This used to be on the op-ed page. We used to write black text on white paper, we like multiculturalism. We like everybody's true value, which is equal. Now suddenly everybody in the audience could be part of this. They were all there listening, seeing this. They cried, they came up to me afterwards and they hugged me and they cried. The girl in orange, she said to me the other year, and I was just up there eating lunch. She's in the lunch restaurant, a waitress today, and she says, that was fantastic, this event that we did, that I was part of that, it was amazing. I don't think there's any op-ed that will live like that for years afterwards. But she was carrying this story, she was the ambassador of this story. The biggest thing I think we did was we made a kind of revolution of journalism. We opened our news list towards the exterior community. We published what we were working on, and we said to the community, be with us, help us, assist us, tell us what you know, send us your thoughts, your pictures, your idea of an angle, your films, give us tips on what we should do or don't do. We were co-creating journalism content with the audience. This was 2 years before Guardian opened the Open Guardian, which is today world famous. They actually credit us for being first. Humbly, I haven't met another newspaper that did this before us. I believe that we were first. The idea, of course, again, when I told my staff we're going to do this, they said to me, you're mad, again. Because they said, why should we put what we do on the website? You know, our competitors, they will take our stories, our scoops. And I said, well, if they're sitting there in front of our website the whole day instead of working, we already won. So what did we gain from this? That it's called today, they didn't have a terminology at the time. I called it e-editor. Today it's collaborative journalism. Collaborative journalism makes stories better, stronger. There's less mistakes because when the wisdom of the crowd is part of creating the content, it becomes better. This is a type of Wikipedia in a small format. But it was a live chat. It was a personal presence on the website. It took down the thresholds. It invited the audience, the former audience, you, into the exciting world around the news desk, where quick decisions are taken, where the world is turning around, so to speak. There's a node there of what's going on and what's hot. And you can all be part of it. You were all invited in this regional newspaper. I think that's a method that can be turned into many other areas and should be, because it's such a tremendous force in it. To me, when you learn management, I'm sure there's management students here. This is, what this abbreviation means. Return on investment. I would challenge that now and say that what I have learned from having worked with collaborative methods now for many years in journalism, I would say it means this. Because it means return on involvement, because you get so tremendous amount back when you let people be part of it. When people build a piece of them into the news media, when I'm part of tomorrow's newspaper, or friends of mine are part of it, it becomes very, very strong. And you don't reject it, because it's part of you. One thing there's a lot of things you can change, and now it's becoming very detailed, but obituaries is something that we have had for, I think, hundreds of years in the news media. Somebody dies and you write about it in black text on white paper. A person who dies, it's summing up that person's life. It's very important. I think it's the legacy of that person that has to be summarized in some way. And I find that this little black text on white paper is really not there. It's just horrendous. Of course, at the time when you needed to provide the information, but here we're talking summarizing a person's life in a way where the users, where the mourning family, the friends, can feel that this was a good way of summarizing this person's life. Now, we did that also in Skellefteå. We had this tragic event of a young man, Daniel, who was killed by his girlfriend. And now in a small community like this, the entire town knows him or his family. And being in the news business at the time, very tough. You force the reporters to phone the family when you really would like to leave them alone. because they need to be alone. But I said to reporters, you have to do it because we will publish anyway, and rather have them with us in the decisions, rather collaborate with them around these very difficult and sensitive decisions, so that they don't feel that we are just doing it anyway and hurting them. And instead of, we actually got contact with the mother, and we started a very sensitive mail conversation around all the difficult publishing decisions that went on for months. And eventually, we summarized it like this. This is a film made of my brilliant ex-colleague, Johan Haglind.
Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. Oh, but now, old friends, they're acting strange, and they shake their heads and they tell me that I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all.
Different way of summarizing a life, the love of all the people that had known him. I think that's a much stronger message, a stronger way of doing it. We changed. We thought we were information brokers. We decided we were in the community strengthening business. I want you to move away from here today and ask yourselves, what would you like to be? Thank you.